The tight end class in the 2025 NFL Draft is way better than I think people are giving it credit for. So many people are talking about Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland, and rightfully so. They're my top two tight ends in the class, and there is a bit of a gap between them and the next names. But I think there is a third guy who should be getting the same type of hype that those first two are. Bowling Green tight end Harold Fannin is a player who I fell in love with in the offseason when I did my summer scouting, and he's proved me right this season, putting up absolutely phenomenal numbers, leading tight ends in nearly every statistic in 2025, and is a player who I think is starting to fly under the radar a little bit. In a tight end class that is starting to take shape, how high could the Bowling Green product be taken in the draft? That is what we will be discussing in today's video. But hey guys, if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. This is a re-upload. This is the second time we've had to upload this video. There were some issues. The people who own the college film do not want you guys to have access to it, and apparently they hate YouTubers, so I'm not going to let this video go unuploaded, so we're re-uploading it for you guys. But if you do want the original video, be sure to check out my Patreon page. For $5 a month, you guys will get exclusive access to my in-depth draft guide with player analysis, scouting reports for over 550 prospects, player cut-ups, as well as being able to participate in weekly polls that will allow you guys to vote on which prospects you want to see in a future video. Leave a comment and let me know which players you guys are interested in seeing, and without further ado, let's take a closer look at Harold Fannin. Fannin is a really good player who had a super solid season in 2023. He had 623 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 44 receptions on the season for the Falcons, and was a player who was a big sleeper coming into the season. Not many people had him high on their radar until this year, where he was absolutely phenomenal and led all of the FBS in receiving yards as a tight end. He had 100 receptions for 1,342 yards and 9 touchdowns this year, and single-handedly carried the Falcons to wins this year. He is a super unique player who is flying up draft boards currently. Fannin might be the best all-around receiving tight end in the entire draft class. He does so many little things that I think make him a legitimate threat at the next level. For one, he has some of the softest hands in the country. He had only 2 drops in his collegiate career, and he caught just about everything that is thrown his way. He's got great body control, and he has made timely catches, whether it be with one hand, diving to the ground, or just your routine 2-hand grab. Fannin always seems to be able to catch the football. As a route runner, I think Fannin brings some unique upside in that area as well. He is a versatile player who has played both in line as well as in the slot. He is a really shifty and sharp player who can win across the middle of the field with clean routes, but I also think he has really good zone IQ and understands where to settle to make himself available for the quarterback. He understands leverage and how to get open, which I love to see. As an athlete, Fannin is absolutely incredible. He's got some of the best all-around speed of any tight end in the class, and he seems to only get faster as he goes. He's elusive after the catch, and he is constantly breaking tackles and fighting for extra yards, and he's got an incredible athletic upside. As a blocker, it's a bit of a mixed bag with Fannin. Where he thrives is as a run blocker in space. He shows good hand placement in space, and I love that. But as an inline blocker, he wasn't very good. He's not the strongest guy in the world, and he didn't have the greatest base in line, which led to him just getting bullied and run over by bigger and more powerful defenders. I think to maximize his potential in the blocking game, using him as a big slot in space or as a move tight end is where you're going to get the most out of him. The biggest concern people will have with Fannin is his size. He is 6'4", 230 pounds, and he is on the smaller side for the tight end position. He's going to need to add on more mass at the next level, because the lack of an elite frame could really lead to him just not getting a lot of playing time because it doesn't show up in the blocking department, and I think his frame could cause him to slip a little bit come draft time. The one issue I want to note that I think is kind of flying under the radar in Fannin's game is I don't think he's very quick. When you watch him, His first step off the line at times is a bit slow, and he speeds up as he goes. His first step and initial burst has been something that I've been worried about since the offseason, and it carried on into the 2024 year, and that's an area that I really would like to see growth from Fannin in. Harold Fannin was one of my favorite tight ends when I studied him this summer, and nothing has changed between now and then. He's an electric player who I think is going to be a really big difference maker in the NFL, particularly as a receiving tight end. He's my number 3 tight end in the draft class, just because the size and lack of inline blocking skills could slightly hold him back. He's my number 46 overall prospect in the class. We mentioned it earlier, but Fannin would work best in a scheme that allows him to play as a big slot. He doesn't have many inline blocking skills, or traits that you look for when it comes to the frame or hand placement that's necessary to play in line. But what he can do in space as a big slot type of weapon could get you really excited about what his NFL future holds. Fannin reminds me a lot of Baltimore Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely. Likely has struggled at times as an inline blocker, but what he has done is turned himself into an elite receiving threat from the tight end position. He's incredibly versatile and can play in line and in the slot despite not being the biggest guy in the world. That's exactly what Fannin is. I don't know if he will be a number 1 tight end straight out of the gate, but with time and development, I think he could turn into a special player for an NFL franchise. Harold Fannin is a fantastic weapon. Some people are going to talk about the competition level, but 2 of his best games of the year came against Texas A&M and Penn State. I'm not worried about it in the slightest, and he has absolutely dominated everyone he has played against. He's an elusive weapon that I think is going to have a very nice NFL career, and ultimately, I believe that Harold Fannin Jr. will be a second-round pick in the 2025 NFL Draft.